Hey everyone, what's going on? This week, round 10 tips. We're just going to jump straight into it. As you can see, Sir Douglas Nicholls round. It's going to be a great week, and we're just going to jump straight into it, yeah? Thursday, we've got the Suns versus Geelong. This is going to be in Darwin. It's very strange for Geelong to sell a game up there, but whatever. I've heard the conditions up there are terrible for football, but a lot of people seem to enjoy it. Yeah, it'll be an interesting game. The Suns, they're very hit and miss. They seem to play well against teams around their same caliber. So this is a pretty straightforward game for me. I'll say Geelong, but I mean Geelong have been playing okay football for the last 2 or 3 weeks, but they've lost 2 games in a row. So it's kind of like, are they slipping? I don't know. The Suns have been up here a lot, so they might know how to play up here better. I'd say Geelong. Yeah, Geelong will win this game. They're just a more professional outfit. Yeah. So yeah, they'll get over the Suns. As you can see, the betting is actually quite close. So a lot of people have a lot of faith in the Suns, but Geelong, you know, they're just a better team. So yeah, they'll get the job done up there in Darwin. Moving on to Friday, we've got Sydney versus Carlton. Now, I know for the past couple of weeks I've been really poor with Sydney. I have not given them a chance. I've bet against them every single time and I've lost every single time. And this time it's at the SCG. Carlton, they're a good team. They're doing really well around the footy. So is Sydney. And Sydney just have a stronger outfit, really. Carlton, I'd say if this was at the MCG, I'd tip Carlton. But because it's not MCG, if it was at the MCG, this would be a close game. But because it's not at the MCG, SCG instead, it'll be Sydney. And I wouldn't be surprised if they beat them by like 20 points. So yeah, there's no big outs or anything. Yeah, Carlton, unfortunately, they won't be able to overcome the power that is Sydney. I think they're top 2 in almost every category in the stats that matter. So they're doing really well, and I should have taken notice of them earlier, but now I'm starting to realise they are a good outfit. And Carlton are too, but not as good as Sydney. So yeah. That was Friday. Now we're moving on to Saturday, and we've got a couple of matches to get through on Saturday. Collingwood versus, as you can see, Sir Douglas Nicholls round. Kawana, Adelaide Crows have changed their name to the Aboriginal, where their region is. The mob that's down there. And this will be a big game for them because they've shown a lot of spirit in the last couple of weeks. Whether or not they can get the job done here at the MCG of all places, which they don't seem to play well away from home, is going to be a different story. Collingwood, on the other hand, they have a lot of injuries, lots of injuries, and I'm not sure if they're gonna, you know, like, but their Collingwood's pressure is back. Like it is. They are doing things in the last, I think, the last 6 weeks. They've done things that they didn't do last year, and they're doing them better than they did last year. And they've got injuries and everything. I was listening to stats today, and Collingwood are right up there with the best. In fact, they are one of the best teams at tackling right now. They are the best team at tackling. So even with the young guys in there, so I don't think Adelaide are going to be able to handle that pressure. Of course, there is the element of whether or not Collingwood show up to the game. I'm pretty sure they will. They put West Coast to the sword last week, so this is pretty easy for me. I just think Collingwood just too strong. Their tackling pressure is just going to completely overwhelm Adelaide or Kawana. I'm going to try not to pronounce these names, these Aboriginal names, because I don't want to offend anyone in case I get them wrong. Because you know, these territories that they're named after have been around for a lot longer than Adelaide and all that, and they're very sacred. And I just don't want to get their names wrong. As you can see, this is the name of the MCG Melbourne, or yeah. So they've changed all that. So Doug Nicholls round goes for 2 weeks. Everyone gets a home game, everyone gets an away game. So this will be 2 weeks of this. Okay, another Saturday game. Giants versus Bulldogs. This is a tough one. The Giants are, if you shut down their run, which is really easy, you just shut down one player, they're an 80% good team. Not 100% like they were earlier in the year. And a lot of teams are figuring that out. Western Bulldogs have started to, like, there's a lot of pressure on them, like, do well. They're being told, do well, do well. And they got the ammunition to do it, but they're just missing the targets. So this is a tough one, because I think the Bulldogs are going to do that every week, but whether or not they follow through is a different story. Whereas the Giants, they've really fallen away. They're not the powerhouse they were 4 or 5 weeks ago. They're starting to drop games that they should probably win. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. So I think I'm going to take a gamble here and say Western Bulldogs. Even in Sydney, this is a weird stadium. I don't think that's not GWS's home. It might be, I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, I think Western Bulldogs will win here. It'll be a close game, regardless. I think Brown is still out, so that's a big loss for the Giants. Western Bulldogs should win. Another game on Saturday, St Kilda. Like I said, I'm not pronouncing that. And Fremantle, just out of respect. And although, is it more respectable to try and pronounce it? I don't know. Yeah, have your own way with that, whatever. Fremantle, you know, I think I find them untrustworthy. But then again, I find St Kilda just as untrustworthy. I think St Kilda have played terrible the last 5 weeks. I mean, they got away with a few ones earlier in the year. They beat Collingwood, but Collingwood was crap back then. Whereas, I don't know, Marvel Stadium, I think, yeah, St Kilda will win this game. They've got enough personnel to do this well, and I think they will. They'll need a lift, and they'll get their system going, and they'll beat Fremantle here. Fremantle, they'll try, but this will be a close game, but I think it'll be like a 15-point margin. Saints will just hold on, grind it out, and just win. Okay, so we're still on Saturday. Lions versus Richmond at the Gabba. Well, this is... I was going to make a meme last week, you know, like Hawthorn are now out of the bad teams, and Richmond are now into the bad teams. So I just don't consider them a good team anymore. They're just not. So Brisbane will, this will probably be a flogging, to be honest. They're $10.50 to win. I mean, even West Coast a couple of weeks ago, they were $8. So even West Coast weren't that bad. That was before everyone realised that West Coast were actually pretty good. North Melbourne, $7.50 last week. I think it was last week. Yeah, like Richmond are terrible right now. I know they've got injuries, but still, they've got some good players that just aren't doing anything. And yeah. So now we're moving on to Sunday, and well, this is a no-brainer. Essendon are on fire at the moment. North Melbourne, not worth it. $10.50. Yeah, no wonder. Yeah, Essendon, easy win. They've talked about consistency, so they're not the same Essendon they were last year. The captains reverberated that around the whole team, and they're getting around that whole idea of being consistent. Show up every week, do this, do that, every week. and they're not going to fail here. This will be a practice match for them. Let's see how high we can kick a score, how much we can win by. That's going to be the whole objective here. So they'll come out and they'll absolutely flog North. There's no doubt in my mind. I think this is the second last game of the round. Port Adelaide versus Hawthorn. Now, like I said earlier, Hawthorn are now no longer a bad team. I mean, they're going to drop a few games, and they might get beaten by 60 points maybe every 8th or 9th game. But they're not a bad team. Having said that, Port Adelaide last week, what they did was just sensational. And the fact that this is at Adelaide Oval, yeah, Port will win this. There's no doubt in my mind there either. Hawthorn are a good team. They're starting to play really well, but Port are just, well, they're 6th on the ladder. They probably deserve that spot. That's about where they should be. Hawthorn don't deserve to be 15th. They deserve to be a little bit higher than that, but they are not going to win this game. Okay, and this is the last game of the round. West Coast Eagles versus Melbourne. Optus Stadium, Melbourne, I don't know. Like I said, West Coast, without their two guns at the moment, yeah, I just don't think they're going to be capable of taking on Melbourne. Melbourne are pretty much full strength at the moment. Yes, they lost last week, but that was, you know, that was against Carlton, who are a good team, and they only lost by 1 point, and they nearly overran them in the end. In fact, there was a free kick which shouldn't have been a free kick. It shouldn't have been a free kick. Melbourne should have scored. Even though I tipped Carlton, Melbourne should have won that game. You know, it's just how it is. But the script is written, and that's what we have to live with. So Melbourne will win this game. West Coast, they'll give it all they got, but I just don't think they'll win. I just really don't. Not without Yo, not without Waterman. I don't know if Waterman's coming back in this week or not, but I'm pretty sure he has a quad strain, which is usually 2 to 3 weeks, so he probably won't be back in. Yeah, so Melbourne will win this game. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I do gaming content as well if you want to check that out. As always, be good, dear mother, and I'll see you next time. Peace.